Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the regular board meeting of Shields Township for August 2025. I call this meeting to order at 5:05 p.m. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Oliver-Salbilla.
Here.
Trustee Frager.
Here.
Supervisor Urso.
Here.
Trustee Oliver-Salbilla.
Here.
Trustee Parnell.
Here. I ask you to rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next item on the agenda is public comment. This is the portion of the meeting where anyone in the audience wishes to address the board may do so. We ask that you come forward, state your name, spelling, your last name for the record, and provide your address. We also ask that you limit your comments to 3 minutes because the state law limits the board to consideration of the matters listed on the published agenda. We ask that you please do not take offense if we do not respond to matters. You may rise in public comment. That being said, Madam Clerk, has anyone signed up for public comment?
Yes, we have 3 people signed up. The first one is Ms. Janice Snowbridge.
Do I have to spell my name?
No, I got it.
Hi, my name is Dan Schnobert, and I am here. I live in Lake Bluff. Okay, at the July 17, 2005 Shields Township meeting, Jeff Urso, 2025, sorry about that, I said 2025 Shields Township meeting, Jeff Urso made a public comment about me and my daughter. Since he is no longer supervisor, any legal action taken by me will target him personally, and he would have to pay the cost of litigation out of pocket. Current supervisor, Amelia Russo, allowed him to speak. If sued, she might be eligible for township funded legal defense. Camaro Urso was elected as supervisor of Shields Township in April 2020, officially assuming office in May. At the July meeting, she permitted her husband, who previously hired Dan Rogers, to defend Rogers' action and criticize Trustee Catherine Oliver-Salbilla, who had fairly won her board seat. Mrs. Urso did not intervene in her husband's remark during the meeting. During his Shields Township 2001 to 2005 tenure, Dan Rogers was involved in litigation that cost taxpayers thousands of dollars in tax receipts and deprived those living in the unincorporated township areas of thousands of dollars in needed road maintenance and repair. Further debate on the ethics of Dan Rogers or Jeff Urso may be unjust and lead to extra taxpayers' expense. The board should assess documented lawsuits and related activities to identify costs associated with actions by Rogers and Urso in their official capacity. A forensic review is recommended to quantify potential taxpayers' funds wasted due to their actions, which might have been used for essential services like road maintenance and flood prevention. After reviewing Shields Township management over the last 30 years, I believe this and the previous supervisor's terms have been the least effective and the most expensive for township taxpayers and residents since 1996. Attached, you will find the 2001-2005 major cases and listings of questionable activities during Dan Rogers' time as Highway Commissioner and public official, and Jeff Urso's reign and beyond.
Thank you.
Kathy Bahunda.
I'm Kathy Blanco. Camilla, at the May 2025 meeting, you told a member of the public that the board packets would be posted online. We have followed through on the commitment, but the packets are not posted until weeks after the meeting. After the June meeting, I noticed errors of omission on the financial reports provided to the board, which were of significance to bring to your attention. Between the May and June meetings, the total legal spend in the town report increased by nearly $40,000 without board approval. A similar discrepancy for road maintenance occurred in the road report, which increased by $23,000 without board approval. It is the Board of Trustees' legal responsibility to audit the spend. Respectfully, they should have been provided accurate information. The July financial report omitted nearly $25,000 in property tax receipts from the county. To date, without detailed review, there were $85,000 in financial omissions. Transparency and timeliness in reporting are essential for public trust and effective governance. When information is omitted, it undermines trust and creates barriers for trustees and the public to participate in the civic process. Reporting omissions raise concerns about accountability and internal controls. The township had added charts of accounts to the budgeting in 2023, and in 2026 moved some of the road fund to the town fund, those chart of accounts. One way to improve accuracy in reporting would be to check if any items were categorized accidentally or purposefully to one of the unused chart of accounts before finalizing the reports provided to the board. Legally, the supervisor is responsible for all the financial records and transparency to the public. To protect both the township and yourself, Camilla, it may be wise to tighten up system access processes and reporting to provide accurate information to the public. Thank you.
Okay, Janice Hall.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Janice All, and I live in Knollwood, and I just want to let you know that I was at the SMC meeting where they talked about the concept plan to help alleviate some of the flooding that's taking place in Knollwood. And for those of you that were there, you know, SMC, Lake County Stormwater Management, said there is no one solution, right? There's multiple things that we can do. And one of the things that we didn't dive into is there's a lot that we can do as a community in Knollwood to help alleviate some of the flooding. For example, one mature oak tree takes up 40,000 gallons of water a year. And so that's not a huge investment on our part as community members to plant a tree to help absorb some of this water. So my request as a community is that we educate the community, let them know what's going on, let them know that here's a report, there is no one solution, and there is no, all the solutions are going to be expensive, but there are things that we can do in our own backyard to help alleviate that flooding. And as a professional facilitator and someone who's passionate about stormwater management, I am more than happy to do what I can to help educate, communicate, and collaborate with the community to see what we can do to just offset it by a little bit, because the solution is going to be doing a lot of different little things to get that big thing. So I encourage us, let's continue going. I know we're not going to get the funding to do the big projects, but maybe we can do some things in our own backyard. So, thank you.
That's a great idea. I'm actually working on a grant with Lake County right now for like tree planting and stuff, trying to get it.
Yes.
To get more trees in, because I feel like that's the biggest idea.
Yes, and native planting the native plants just helps absorb that water. And I did write the grant for Foster Avenue. It's not that difficult. It just takes, you have to be very tedious and attention to details. But the Lake County Stormwater Management team is from down, yes, we will definitely help you out right with that. So, excellent. So anything I do to help support, Carl and I work together for the Foster Avenue, and I work together with him in a heartbeat, because Carl and I will work. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Additional statements that could help with this, do we know?
There may be, the issue is grant money is
locate.
yeah, and grant money is drying up because everything's going on. And the majority of grants are matching grants. And a lot of the grants now are looking at underserved communities.
Yeah, which we are not.
Yeah, we're not. So there is finding them and then taking time to write them, facilitate them. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that didn't sign up that would like to speak?
I have something I want to say. Last session, as everybody knows, I attended remotely. During that session, there was an accusation made against me that I had not submitted my statement of economic interest. And so to that, I printed out the receipt for the record. You could pass these two down. And then Vanessa, I have one for you as well. They
Thank
prove
you.
that I have submitted that statement of economic interest.
Okay.
You know, the person who made that accusation is not here. It would have been very easy for anybody to go ahead and make the determination that was in fact a false statement that was made, that I had submitted this and I had submitted it properly and timely and accurately as well. If there's questions about our conduct, I encourage people to come up and ask if we have before making these accusations. I think false accusations just make us look petty and fractured, and that's not what we're striving to be as a community. And I think that goes to all of the people who are up here and are giving up their time to make our community a better place. I also want to say that I will remember submitting that statement of economic interest probably for the rest of my life. And the reason is I went in on a Tuesday, the date that the election was certified. And I showed up during my lunch hour from work and made sure that I had all my paperwork in order. And I submitted it, and they said, well, thank you. And then they looked and said, you're from Shields Township? And I said, yes. And they said, are you in the slate of candidates supported by Dan Rogers? And I said, I'm sorry, I ran independently. They handed me back the paperwork and said, then I cannot accept it at this time. The reason I cannot accept it is because the vote hasn't been certified, and the vote's not going to be certified till, I think it was 2 o'clock is what was said, and it's before 2 o'clock. And if we accept this now, there will be problems with it. So can you wait around for about an hour and a half? And I said, no, sorry, I'm on my work hour, and I have a call to London coming up soon, and I have to get back. And they said, well, you have a week, basically, to submit this. So I went back the following day and handed in the paperwork, and the gentleman said, you're from Shields again? And I said, yes. And he said, well, let me get the clerk of elections over here to talk to you personally. So the clerk of the elections came and looked at my paperwork and said, your statement of economic interest is too old. There will be a problem with it. This is from when you filed as a candidate. And I said, correct. And he said, well, we need one filed with a closer time to the election. So do you mind submitting one right now? So I said, sure. So I pulled it up on my phone, submitted it, sent it to them, right? They printed it out. We went up to the 5th floor where they stamped it, intake. Then we went back down to the clerk's office where they formally accepted it. So I will definitely remember completing the requirements for office, but making these accusations, which are easily proven, and anybody, it's public record, so anybody could call the trustee's office, makes us look bad. So again, I encourage, if people have questions about me, please just ask. My life doesn't have a lot of garbage in it. As it was mentioned last week, I'm a compliance attorney. I have ethical standards and requirements that I have to adhere to, or I do face attorney disciplinary action. And I'm not an attorney for this governing body. I do not know government law. I know SEC requirements, right? I know codes of conduct, conflicts of interest in hospitality, bribery and corruption and fraud. That's my world. My world is not government. So this is something that I have to do, and there's, like any area of the law, there's a learning curve with that. So I encourage people to ask questions and be patient with me. So thank you for letting me make that statement.
Thank you for that, sorry. Anyone else? Okay, hearing and seeing none, I will now close this portion of the meeting. Okay, next item on the agenda is reports. The supervisor's report. First, I wanted to let everyone know I went to a seminar in Schaumburg yesterday to learn more about general assistance to assist in our partnership with Waukegan Township. Second, I wanted to let everyone know we will have an audit report for the next month's meeting. We had a roads committee meeting last night, and our committee members, the roads representative, clerk Rom and myself were in attendance. We discussed the drainage issues, new culverts, bike path, and respective speed hump locations. There were 5 locations identified for possible install. Birch Avenue between Burris and Safford, Talbot Avenue, North Avenue, just west of commercial entrances to mitigate vehicles illegally cutting through our residential neighborhoods. Bellagio and Woodland, west of North Avenue, and east of Birch to slow cars down around the blind turns there going into Baysville, I believe. Especially want to thank Trustee Prager for being on the committee and offering his perspective. And then we talked about letting residents know about letters and stuff like that. Yeah, the culverts, yes, that we'll be providing.
Plastic ones, with metal ones.
Yes.
That's if you're doing your driveway independent of a road replacement, you can get a culvert pipe, but it's now going to be plastic, saving us quite a bit of money.
Yeah,
I remember.
and so it lasts longer.
Yeah, no, it'll last a little bit longer. And I think the other thing that we may need for some clarification is that through the road commission, if I may, we spoke about the fact of possibly sending out letters to the areas that we'd be doing speed humps, but since we had already put, I believe, at least 8 in place to that number, and we hadn't done that in order to, out of fairness, and nobody else was able to do that, therefore we decided that it was better to be consistent practice and not do that. Although we do have some recommendations from people that are desperate need and want of that speed humps. So,
Blind spots, yeah.
out of that, with the committee, then we're just clarifying the fact that Shields meeting, our trustee meeting, we said one thing, but then the road commission kind of felt differently, and so we're just looking for clarification. Is that a good way to
Yes.
say it? You said?
I am.
Yes. Yeah, concur?
Yes, I concur, yes.
And we were gonna encourage people to come to the public meeting to comment.
Yes.
Yeah, if you so choose.
After the announcement that we are looking to install 5 more, that they could come to the public meeting to comment if they have comments regarding that, instead of sending a letter and having a vote or things like that.
That's good clarification, yeah.
She did do the notes.
Yeah, she knows.
I did.
So, can I ask Trustee Prager, what kind of made people shift from the decision of sending the correspondence and asking for a vote to kind of come to the meeting and make a comment?
Please correct me if you see it differently. I think of what the flavor of the committee was basically that where do we stop with the letters, because certain areas like Birch,
Lake Sanctuary.
in coming in the sanctuary, do we have to send letters to all the people in the sanctuary that use that street? Do we just have to do it on Birch? Or do we stop those letters, or do we start those letters? We hadn't done that. Their thinking was, as a board, speaking for the board, we hadn't done that in the past. If we do that now, are we poorly representing the people that didn't have a choice before because we put it in? So, you know, are we doing a disfavor to the fact that now certain people get to say so or not say so with letters, as opposed to what has already been put in practice? And so the committee just felt like they didn't want to get into a situation where they looked like they were playing favorites, that not anybody that's coming from this point on is getting the opportunity to do that they wanted some consistency. So I would say that was the gist of how they got there, or how we got there.
And there was like, the ones coming on to Basil, it's like a turn, and there's like a lot of trees, and people speed there all the time coming in. And then there was one up at Starbucks where people are illegally turning.
The Starbucks one is a business issue, and that was another thing. How do we incorporate Walgreens and whatever involved in that, as along with Starbucks and so forth, and how does that work? So anyway, the committee felt like we were getting into a sticky wicket here with whether we can do it or where we can't do it. So they felt, the committee felt, I'm part of the committee, so I should say, we came to the conclusion that maybe better practice is not to do that at all.
Yes.
Thanks
So
for that.
far. Okay, I also met with, District 65 school representatives to talk about adding the crossing guard on 176 and Shag Park. I'm committed to making sure that the children of Norwood and Sanctuary have safe passage to school. Rob from our roads team will be training to help cross the children on school days. It's basically like an hour before school and an hour after school. And I hope that the District 65 partners will help with this cost to make sure all children in their school district have equitable access to a safe way to school. And then in October, we will discuss our grant program, and I will be inviting Dickinson Hall, Waukegan Senior Center, and possible other additional recipients to present this board for a grant. I met with Alderman Evans this month to go over the important tasks of the Community Services Committee. I'm working on this along with a senior snow program for low-income seniors. Finally, we have improved our video recording for meetings, our social media, and our website. And I'm going to continue to work to make sure we get as much information out as quickly as possible to all of our residents. And then, anyone else, trustees? Assessor's office, no?
No,
And then-
nothing.
Okay, so now we move on to approval of bills. We have 3 sets of bills for the board's consideration. The payroll and bills for the town fund in the amount of, I believe it was $24,295. And then payroll and bills for general assistance in the amount of $1,371. Payroll and bills for the road and bridge in the amount of $6,250.08. Is there a motion to approve payment of the payroll and bills for the town fund, general assistance, and road and bridge as presented?
I so move.
Is there a second?
One second.
Okay, the motion is made by Trustee Sabia and second by Trustee.
Yeah, that's part
Okay. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Sure. Trustee Zwarko?
Aye.
Trustee Pringer?
Aye.
Supervisor Urso?
Aye.
Trustee Sabilla?
Aye.
Trustee Parnell?
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries and payment of the bills is approved as present. Okay, old business. The next item on the agenda is old business. Is there any old business that any members of this board wish to bring forward? Hearing none, I will close this portion of the meeting. Okay, the next item on the agenda is new business. So first item is the new business is the regular meeting minutes on July 17th, 2025. Is there a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
What do we have to say?
So moved.
So moved.
Is there a second? Thank you. All right, the motion is made by Trustee Parnell and seconded by Trustee Swarthout. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Zwarko?
Aye.
Trustee Pringer?
Aye.
Supervisor Urso?
Aye.
Trustee Sabilla?
Aye.
Trustee Parnell?
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries and the regular meeting minutes of July 17, 2025 are approved as presented. Okay, is there any reason to adjourn to executive session?
I have a matter that needs to be discussed.
For the executive session?
Yes.
Okay. And so,
Step out of the room.
do we step out of the room and just go in the other room?
Yeah, so you would need a motion, Supervisor,
Okay.
and so we need to qualify within one of the bases, so I'd be happy to talk with the trustee about, what basis, if you're not publicly, what basis we're going into executive session.
Okay, so I have received several complaints from community members of an employee in the township's wrongdoing that I'm not quite sure how to handle, and I think awareness for the council is appropriate for the Shields Township trustees to hear it.
Yeah, so the proper basis, so it sounds like an employment issue is a specific employee would qualify under section 2C1 of the Open Meetings Act. So there would need to be a motion to adjourn to executive session under section 2C1, a second, and then it gets voted on. Whether you go to executive session.
Okay. So do I say, is there like a motion?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't need to repeat it, you can,
So
as long as everybody can hear it, you wanna just make sure the public can hear.
I so move.
I second.
Okay, so now we go into,
Vote whether you wanna go in, it's up to the board whether you go into executive session.
but everybody has to vote?
All five of these are.
Okay.
Do I have to do that?
It should be a roll call, right,
Yeah.
Mark?
Is the roll call?
Correct.
By, oh, by
Trustee
adjourned.
Swartz.
Trustee Swartha? Trustee Parker?
Aye.
Supervisor Russo? Trustee Sabella?
Aye.
Trustee Parnell?
Motion carries.
Yes, first.
So you adjourn, now you would adjourn to executive session at 5:31.
Okay. At 5:02.
Yes. Right, yeah, the meeting and then clear the room.
Okay, okay. So 5:31, okay, and then we'll go into executive session.
Yes. Okay, you gotta have clear the room and then move on.
Okay.
Can we?
Vanessa stayed, right?
You're not leaving.
No, I'm not. I'm just seeing if there's some chairs out here.
You have a recorder?
What?
You have a recorder?
You're gonna adjourn and
No, we can record it on a phone, I guess, can't we, Mark?
then, so it doesn't.
Yeah, I can record on my.
Well, isn't this still rolling?
Well, would we just adjourn it?
Yeah, I mean, we have the video.
The video's still rolling.
Yeah, don't record it on that, turn that video off.
Oh.
Because anything you say here would get uploaded.
Oh, okay.